Hey everybody, what's going on? Here we are, another day in paradise. How you doing out there, everybody? Wake up, have fun. This is it. We're going to have a great time. A great time today. Wow. Let me get all stripped down here and get ready to do the podcast. In fact, I'll take my shirt off. I'm feeling really kind of like energized. Energized. Hey, everybody. The world's going to shit. I shouldn't I shouldn't go on the internet and watch about current events, man. It's very depressing. I'm glad we're here together. We're not talking about that shit. Man, there's some crazy shit going on. I don't know, man. I don't know. The dark side of humanity. Oh, by the way, somebody said that I pick my nose. I don't pick my nose. I do like this. I flip my nose, you know. Some kind of nervous tick I do. I do this. I do this. I do this. Do this. Do this. But I don't pick my nose. I'm not digging around in there for something. I'm just flicking my nose. You can call it picking my nose if you want, but I don't look at it like picking my nose. Picking my nose equates to boogers or something. Yeah, man, we got a lot of questions. You guys are a question machine. I'll tell you. I don't know if you're trying really hard for questions or if they're popping out of your head naturally, but you guys are, you blow my mind. You guys are a question machine. There's a couple of questions that are pretty insightful. Anyway, let's get right to the business of the questions. And then maybe as we're going along, I'll think of some stories that'll blow your mind. Did I ever use the meat guitar in a concert? Yeah, I did. I think I used it in one or two concerts. And I almost choked on one of the flies. I was biting the fly off to spit at the audience, and it went down the wrong tube, and I was coughing. It was like very funny. But yeah, I used the meat guitar. I mean, that's why I made the thing. Somebody said, oh, Mary died in 2006. I think it was later than that when she died. I don't think it was 2006 because that would have put her in her like 50s, and she was in her early 60s when she died. So I think that date was off. But you know, that Wikipedia and all those different all these places, man, they get a lot of stuff wrong. I'm really surprised. And through your questions and stuff, I realized, wow, some of that stuff that's out there on the internet is wrong. You know, I tend to believe everything I read. But yeah, some of that stuff is wrong. But we're not wrong. We're here. Come on, everybody. We're doing this thing here. This is so cool. Okay. Oh, I never heard of automatic attitude. Automatic attitude. That was never a song or anything. I don't know where that came from. I don't know where you got that, but it has nothing to do with me. I never had anything called automatic attitude. I didn't know Badfinger. Yeah, I didn't know that. I used acoustic amps. The amps, those amps, that big wall of amps I used to have when I played, those were acoustic. Made by Acoustic was the name of the company. Acoustic amplifiers. Larry Marks, who produced my first album and my third album, his brother owned acoustic amps. That's small world. It really didn't mean much. I mean, I didn't get like a discount or something. I had to buy those amps. I never recorded at the church in Tulsa, the Tulsa church. I guess that was that Leon Russell's place? I don't know. I never recorded there. I never went there. I don't know anything about it. Who was the strangest person I ever saw? Gee, I don't know. I thought real hard about that question. That question stumped me. I can't remember who was the strangest person I ever saw. Who's the strangest person you ever saw? Wow. There was some strange people out there, but I can't remember anybody specifically that was really strange. Well, But one guy I did enjoy quite a bit was Wildman Fisher. I don't know if you know Wildman Fisher. I think he was on Zappa's label or something. If Zappa had a label, I don't know. But he was this guy, man, on Sunset Boulevard. He was just out there. He would come up when we were sitting out on the patio of some place eating, and he would come up and say for a quarter, he would do a song, and you'd give him a quarter, and he would go fucking crazy, man. His name was Wildman Fisher. I don't know whatever happened to him. Yeah, I bet he's dead because he was like one of those guys. He was pretty toasted. Maybe he's alive. Wouldn't that be amazing? But Wildman Fisher, he was a real character around L.A., and I remember him being pretty wild. I don't know if he was the strangest person I ever saw, but he was one of the wildest guys I ever saw. He had a strange enthusiasm for life, He was very enthusiastic and crazy as a loon in a good, positive sort of way. I didn't know him personally that well, but I ran into him quite a few times. I didn't really know Quicksilver Messenger Service, but we did shows together a few times. Woody Berry, that's the guy's name, the bass player. I couldn't think of Woody's name. Sorry, Woody. Woody Berry, yeah. Woody Berry played bass. A Midnight Special and all those, and a bunch of gigs at the, what was the name of that place in Orange County? Fuck, my mind is going. God, you guys make my memory. You made me realize one thing this podcast has made me realize is I don't remember a lot of shit. That's funny too. I probably didn't remember it back then either. Somebody asked me if I had any memories of playing Winterland. Well, yeah, Winterland was some of my first gigs with the guitar that were so tragic when I didn't know how to tune the guitar or anything. I didn't know anything about the guitar. It says, just give me this thing, I'm going to play it. And it was a chaos. It was a total catastrophe. I remember I had a bunch of little Mesa Boogie amps, the little ones. I had a whole little row of them. Bill Graham came out and goes, at least you could bring some amps. And he stopped me for my show. And because I wasn't playing organ, I was playing that. And he's looking, he goes, look at these things. He goes, at least you could bring some equipment. And then we fired him up, and there was a lot of singing he'd ever heard. And he'd stand back and goes, whoa. And we couldn't believe how loud they were, but we were like early on Mesa Boogie guys, man. We blew his mind with those amps, the little amps. Anyway, I played Winterland. That's what I remember about it. Oh, I'll tell you a Winterland story. Since Brian Rohan was my lawyer, my manager kind of guy, Bill Graham would always sell more tickets than he told the acts. You know what I mean? This shows you where he was at. He would sell, like Winterland, they had so many tickets he would sell, and he would tell the band, and he'd pay the bands, like the headliners would get, had cut deals where they got a percentage of the gross and everything. So Graham would sell more tickets than he told the bands. Like he told the bands this is how many tickets we sell, but he actually sold more tickets and he kept some money aside. But since we knew that he did that, he gave us money. We were probably the only people in history to get money, that extra money, because we knew that he did that because Brian was close with him and was on the inside and knew that. So we got extra money when we played Winterland because we knew he sold extra tickets. That was fair, and he fessed right up. He knew that we knew it, and so he paid us on those extra tickets. But everybody else that played there, he would sell extra tickets and not tell them. Anyway, we got our money. Yeah. Somebody asked me when I first put my hands on a keyboard. Well, I told that story before. When I was a little kid, I was 6 years old. I got an accordion, and that was my first hands on a keyboard. Later on, when I got a piano and organ, I don't remember that specifically, that instant, because already by then I've been playing for years, But I remember really well the first time I got my hands on an accordion. I was like almost 7 years old, but I was 6 3/4 or something. And I got it that summer. And I remember I got it, and I could play it instantly, and it blew everybody's mind. It blew my mind. It blew my parents' mind. Everybody goes, look at this kid. He can play this thing. What are you doing? The second I got my hands on it, I could play it. It was sort of weird. I wasn't a virtuoso or anything, but it was kind of astounding that I could play the thing right out of the box, man. I got that accordion. I just played it, and I liked it. Anyway, that was, and I remember that as my first time up hands on keyboards. Yeah. I didn't know Frank Zappa. Yeah, somebody asked me that. Flag Systems, man. I forgot all about you guys. Those guys at Flag Systems, I always loved those guys. They were like real guys, you know what I mean? You know, sometimes you run into people and they're this or they're that, but those guys were always real, and I always dug them. You guys, Flag, yeah, yeah. And they made all the cabinets for everybody and stuff. They were cabinet makers, but I'll tell you guys something. You'll probably remember this. Remember one time I came to you and I had you make me these 2 big cabinets that put phonograph records, LPs in, and they had I had a shelf inside, so it was 2 rows of LPs in each cabinet. And the cabinets sat under my Tannoy speakers. I still have those cabinets, and they're by my bathroom, and I use them for all my stuff, my bathroom stuff, and all. I have towels in them and all kinds of stuff. But I still have those Flag System cabinets to this day. In fact, from the old days, that's the only thing I have left over from the old days is the Flag System cabinets. They weren't covered in carpet. You made them natural wood. I don't know if you guys at Flag Systems remember that. But for all the stuff from my whole history, the only thing I have left in the whole world is those Flag System cabinets. I still have them, and they're still in perfect condition. You guys built them like everything you guys built was like the Rock of Gibraltar. It's stood the test of time. It's like 50 years later, and those things are as good as they were the day they were made. The doors are everything is still perfect. You guys, yeah. Hello, Phil out there, man. I remember you. How cool, man. It was all, I remember you guys. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Really made me smile when I saw the guy from Flag Systems and you guys were chiming in, and I thought, whoa, Flag Systems. I used to really like you guys. And I guess you guys like me too. Anyway, I always felt connected with you guys. Santa Ana Bowl. The Santa Ana Bowl. Yeah. I don't remember that place, but maybe I played there. I probably did. You know, I realized I don't remember a lot of stuff. Oh, somebody asked me if I had a Hohner D6. A Hohner D6. A Hohner D6 was a clavinet, and I bought one because Stevie Wonder had one. You could hear Stevie Wonder playing on these songs. So I want one of those. So I bought one, but I never used it that much, and it never grooved me that much. I never really grooved on the Hohner D6. It sort of had a thin little sound, and it was what it was. But yeah, I had one, but I didn't use it that much. But I bought it because Stevie Wonder was playing it, and I thought it was cool. German in Venice, he's taller than 5'8". I'm pretty sure he's taller than that. Because he's fat and chubby, he doesn't look as tall as he is, but he's taller than that. He's taller than that. Yeah, I got to run into him. I'll run into him. I'll put the word out that I want to have lunch with German in Venice, man. I'll talk to him. I don't want to hit on him to come on my podcast because I don't have anybody here to switch the cameras and go back and forth. But I just like to meet him and yeah. And yeah, I used to watch him in the early days when he was all about Venice. But then he started becoming like a Hollywood fanboy and going to Marilyn Monroe's grave and graveyards and different kind of Hollywood stuff. So see, he's sort of a fanboy. He's a movie fan, but I don't hold that against him. I think it's yeah, he's got a good heart, that guy. I like him. You know, I like German in Venice, and I was one of his earlier subscribers. The song Olsen Arrives at 2:55, that was about the birth of my son Kevin, because he was born at 2:55, and I wrote that song, Olsen Arrives at 2:55. My kids their middle name is Olsen, you know, like Kevin Olsen Michaels, Mika Olsen Michaels. I don't know why. I wasn't ever an Olsen, but somehow I felt a connection. They raised me, you know what I mean? I never played at McCabe's. I always felt like okay, two things. McCabe's is a guitar store. I'm not a guitar player. I was a keyboard player. So I never played at McCabe's, and they never asked me to play there. I never played there. I know a lot of people played there. It's for a little intimate setting right in the music store, and they play, and it's kind of a cool place. I've always been aware of that. You know, it's really funny. I had an Ovation guitar and I wanted to put nylon strings on it. So I contacted McCabe's and they and they wouldn't work on my guitar because they didn't consider an Ovation guitar a real instrument, a real guitar. They were real snobby about it. I thought that was really funny that they were so snobby about it. You know, they wouldn't put nylon strings on my guitar. They wouldn't even touch it because they said it wasn't a real guitar. It looked like a real guitar to me. It sounded like a real guitar. Anyway, and then I'll tell you another story. I went over to there's a store on 6th Street in Santa Monica. 6th and Santa Monica Boulevard. What's the name of that place? Anyway, a small guitar store, and they do amp repairs, and they have a guitar tech there. And so I took the same guitar, I took it there, and I wanted them to put nylon strings on it. And the guy got really highfalutin. I'm not going to touch that guitar. And he was just so arrogant about working. All I wanted him to do is put nylon strings on my guitar. I didn't want to lecture, you know, but he was really arrogant. So I says, look at, I says, what do I got to go to Tijuana to get somebody to put strings on my guitar? I mean, I have to go all the way down to Tijuana or someplace. What the fuck, you guys? Anyway, I was really, it was funny. I was laughing about it because they were so snobby, you know. It's really funny how some guitar people are really snobby. They exalt the guitar. I wasn't exalted of anything. So, but you know what I did? After West LA Music closed, a bunch of guys I knew that worked at West LA Music went to work at, what's the place across the street from Guitar Center? Wow, my brain's going mush. Sam Ash, across the street from a Guitar Center in Hollywood. I went there and my friends were working there. Man, I came in and says, I want to get nylon strings in this guitar. And their guitar tech was there. And he goes, no problem, Lee, let me do it while you wait. And I didn't leave my guitar. And then they just did it right there for me. And they adjusted it and made it. And they made no big deal out of it. I thought, no, that's the way a guitar tech should act. They shouldn't be so snobby. And that was a beautiful guitar. It was a shallow body Ovation guitar with a maple neck. It had the most beautiful neck. I just sold it last week. It's really funny. I had it for years. I never played it, so I figured I might as well sell it. But it had a maple neck and it was an orange body. And I really got it because it looked so cool and I wanted to use it in a photo shoot. But I never used it in a photo shoot. So I bought it for photography. But I don't play guitar every day, so steel strings, man, make my fingers hurt. I have to have nylon strings. Yeah. I have a really cool guitar. I think you saw it, that carbon fiber guitar. I love that guitar. It has nylon strings. So I never played at McCabe's. I didn't know the band Popcorn Blizzard, and I didn't know they recorded Hello. That's pretty interesting. Shows you what I know. But Hello was one of my songs. Popcorn Blizzard, I never heard that name before. Oh, somebody said Lee, somebody says Michael or Eugene or all this. Let me set this record straight. When I went to Montana to get my fake ID and I told them my name was Lee Michaels, I told them my middle name was Eugene because I figured that sounded real, like nobody would pick that out as a stage name. So I told them, well, and you got to fill a form. So I put Lee Eugene Michaels. That's what I did. Michael Lee Olson was my adopted name. So like I said yesterday, I took my middle name, made it my first name and made it my last name. And I stuck Eugene in the middle so they would believe me, and they gave me the ID. So that was cool. Why do I have a burping? So that's the story of that. It's funny, those Wikipedia things and all this stuff. They get a lot of stuff wrong. I didn't know 10 years after. Oh, somebody said I wouldn't let this guy, some guy in some band, I forget what they said it was, I wouldn't let him play my organ. Yeah, that's right. I wouldn't let him play my organ. I didn't let anybody play my organ. I had a badass, super fucking badass organ that we custom built and had a special generator and it went octave lower than everybody else's. It was my secret weapon. I was going to let some guy play it. At the gig because he didn't have his organ or something, you know. But no way, man. I wasn't going to let anybody play that organ. That was my axe. That's like asking somebody to play their guitar. oh, take my guitar on stage and play it. Fuck no, man. It's just that was my axe, man. That was my axe, and it was really a special organ. I had a badass organ, and I didn't let anybody play it. That was I thought it was almost an insult that somebody would ask to use your organ. Like, God, man, it's my whole special trip, and this guy's gonna, well, can I use it? Fuck you. Use your own organ. Anyway. Bobby Bussolel, I don't know how to say his name, but I never met him. He played with Arthur Lee. I never met him. I never used a click track. Man, click tracks were not my thing. I could play with the click today. I'm more I've been playing with the computer and stuff for so long I could do it. But back in the day, man, the tempos varied and song got more exciting, it speeded up a little and stuff. I could have never played with the click track. We never recorded with one. Never ever did we use a click track. Anyway. When I didn't realize I forgot Captain Beefheart opened that show at the Shrine that turned into a riot, and I didn't know him and I didn't talk to him, so I didn't know Beefheart, and he did seem strange. Somebody asked me what was Jimmy Page like. Well, you know, I did a lot of gigs with Zeppelin, opening for Zeppelin, and I hung out with those guys. We hung out at bars in New York and stuff, and so we hung out to a certain extent, not a ton, but a certain extent, and Jimmy Page was always quiet, man. He was one of those guys, he's quiet, you know. He didn't say much. I would have to say I never really knew him. He was just quiet. Everybody else was real friendly in that band. Like Robert Plant was one of the friendliest guys I ever met. Those guys were all really nice, but Jimmy Page was quiet. He was quiet. And I didn't really relate to him because I'm not quiet. And anyway, he's a quiet guy, you know, but I think that guy, he's very talented and, you know, artistic and is quiet. Like that's how Fogerty was. Like Creedence Clearwater, those guys were all really, really nice, you know, and real regular guys and friendly and everything. But Fogerty was always kind of quiet and to himself. So maybe that comes with being so gifted and artistic. I don't know. I didn't hold it against him, you know, but he was quiet too. You know, a lot of people are quiet. Van Morrison was always kind of quiet, you know. Van was all right one-on-one, but if you got like 2-on-1 or 3-on-1, Van clammed right up. So I always noticed that about him. He was way easier to talk to one-on-one, but if there was any other people around, he got pretty quiet pretty quick, you know. And I was always running my mouth, which was not a good thing, but I got to admit I ran my mouth. I didn't know Boss Skaggs. I don't know if we even did a gig together ever, but I never really knew him. I don't pick my nose. I got that in my nose. Yeah. Yeah, said Chicago opened for me at the Whiskey, someone said. I didn't remember that either. When they were Chicago Transit Authority, I kind of liked their band because they had horns and they were sort of almost sounded R&B, you know. They weren't particularly soulful, but they were kind of R&B sounding. But when I say soulful, there's something about the bands from down south, man. They got a kind of soul. The bands from up north don't operate like that, you know. Not that there hasn't been a lot of great music made in the northern part of the country, but there's something about the southern bands that gets my soul, man. The bands from Texas and Oklahoma and Nashville, it's just soulful, you know. But I don't remember Chicago Transit Authority, other than I kind of liked them, you know. But I never knew those guys. Judy Sill, I have no idea who that is. Somebody asked me, did I know Judy Sill? She was on, they said Asylum Records or something. Anyway, I never knew her. They said she had a tragic story. I don't know. Now, somebody asked me, this is a funny question. This is my last question. Somebody asked me about something with the band teacher's car. And at first I thought, yeah, I don't remember anything about the band. Somebody asked me, was I in the band at Atwater High School? Yeah, I was in the band. I was a trombone player. So how's that for obscurity? Yeah, I used to take the slide all the way off my trombone, and then that really long tube. There would be a long straight tube inside the slide, and I would put a spitball in my mouthpiece, and I could blow that spitball clear across the gym. It was like a deadly. It was like a blowgun or something, and you put the mouthpiece up and go poof, and blow that thing, bam, and go. And so one time I blew the thing across the room and hit the band teacher in the head with it. This was when I was in junior high school, and so he got so outraged. He went into the cafeteria and got this big wood paddle that they stirred soup with or something, and he brought it back and he made me stand in front of the band while he hit me with the paddle. So he gave me 3 good swats, and I remember it really hurt. He did that for me for doing that, but it was so funny. I nailed him. Bam! He was up there directing the band, and I pulled the slide off my thing and put the spitball in. Boom! I spit it at him. And bam! I hit him in the head, man. And he just fucking was so outraged, man, because he was directing the band. Anyway, he paddled me in front of the whole band, man. He got me right up there in front of everybody and whacked me. Today he'd be arrested for that, but back in those days, man, you got out of line, you got some swats, man. They swatted your ass. And it made me mind, man. I never spit a spitball at him again. So it didn't hurt me that I got paddled. I didn't like it naturally, and it hurt like shit. But yeah, it was funny, man. I could spit those spitballs out of my man. That tube, you got to understand the tube's inside of a trombone, the thing that slides. If you slide it all the way out, it pops off, and there's these 2 long tubes, and one of them has a mouthpiece at the end of it. So, man, I think it was a natural-born blowgun. When the first time I saw that thing, I was weaponized, man. I thought, this is a weapon, man. I took paper towels and made a spitball, and first time I blew it, I went, well, this thing's cool. And the next time I blew it and hit him in the head, and he swatted me. Anyway, that was funny. Oh, so somebody asked me about, when I was in a high school band, did I have a story about the teacher's car? And I was thinking, what are they talking about? What are they talking about? Because I was related to this one band teacher. But then there was this other teacher who was an art teacher. And he may have taught band for 1 year. I don't know. But I do have a story about his car. He got one of my friends in the closet and molested him, like sexually molested him. In the closet at the school, and so my friend, he held it. He didn't tell anybody, but he threatened the guy. And so this guy had a Ford Thunderbird, those little Thunderbirds that they originally made, the Ford Thunderbirds that were so cool. And he lived in Modesto. He's probably dead now. I don't know if I should say his name, this teacher, but you guys remember who it was. So he molested my friend in the closet at the school. And so all through high school, my friend would call him up. We would be hanging out, and he would call him up and make him drive all the way from Modesto, which was 35 miles, to make him bring us his car and let us use his car to go cruising in Merced. And sometimes we'd make him drive us up to Modesto because that was a better cruise. That was where American Graffiti was made. That story was based on Modesto, where he lived, that guy, and it had a great cruising street, So he, all through high school, he would make this teacher bring his Thunderbird, and he would give us his car, and he would sit in a coffee shop and let us drive his car around. So he'd sit and wait for us, and if he didn't do it, my friend would tell that he molested him. So all through high school, this was crazy. All through high school, my friend sort of extorted him in that way because he molested him, and so we used to get his Thunderbird and cruise, and we'd meet girls and everything. It was pretty cool because it was a nice car, and we were really, we didn't have a nice car, but yeah. He molested my friend, and so all through high school, my friend extorted him. He would call him. We would call him at night. It'd be Friday night, like at 8 o'clock or something. We'd call him. Come on, bring your car, and he'd have to schlep all the way down from Modesto with his car, and then sit in a coffee shop while we used it to cruise around, and yeah, he did. He did that all through high school. He extorted that teacher that way. He would get money from him. He would give us money to buy Cokes and stuff, and yeah, that's what he got for molesting my friend. His life wasn't ruined. He got to still be a teacher, but he had to let us use his car all the time. I wonder what happened to that guy, my friend. I wonder what happened to that teacher. I think he was gay before anybody knew what that was. Anyway, yeah, my friend was a guy too. Yeah. Is that the story you're talking about? I don't know if that's the band story you're talking about, but we used to use that guy's car all the time, man. We would call him any night that we were bored. My friend would just call him and go, bring you your car. And he would just have to get in his car and drive all the way from Modesto down to where we lived and let us use his car. That was crazy. That was crazy. I didn't do the extorting, but I rode around in the car and took advantage of it. And he used to give us money to buy Cokes, and so we would cruise, into the drive-in this really cool car, and we'd be sitting there talking to girls, and it was fun, Is that the story you're talking about? The story, I don't know. Is that the story you're talking about? I forgot all about that. That's really funny. When somebody asked me about, did you have a band story with the car? And I was thinking, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? I'm not going to say the guy's name. He's probably dead. I don't know. I don't know what his life was like, but I'm not going to say his name. You guys can go back there and research it if you want. You can figure his name out. I was fucked up back then, man. We were reptiles, man. But my friend, for a few years, I never understood what my friend had on the teacher. Why does the teacher bring his car down to us? Because my friend said, I'll get us a car. He'd call this guy up and he'd bring the car. And we just got used to doing it, but I never quite understood what happened. Then one time he finally told me that the teacher had taken him into a closet and molested him. And so after that, he just extorted the teacher for years, man, all through high school. I mean, I'm talking about for years, man. This guy, he would call him up. It would be at night, man, and he would call him up and say, bring the car. And the guy would bring the car and give us some money to buy Cokes and stuff. That's funny, man. That's a funny story. How's that for a story to end the podcast on? Telling you guys that story. Telling you that story. I was in the virtual world, I was telling you guys about it, and we have this beautiful sim we've built. We've had for 15 years, and we've built it, and it's just like a giant movie studio in the virtual world. But now we're going to AI, so we're not using it anymore, and we were going to get rid of the sim. We told the landlord of the sim in there that we were going to just take it for another month. But last night we were all hanging out in there. We go, we can't get rid of this. This is the coolest thing ever. It took us years to build it. And we're going to just destroy it. And so we decided to keep our sim in the virtual world. It's actually 2 sims. And yeah, it's as big as 2 sims. It's bigger than 2 sims because it's got things in the sky. In the virtual world, you can just float your property. You own all the air above it, so you can float stuff in the sky. You can make a whole nother platform as big as your sim, and just put stuff on it. So we built this giant movie studio in the sky, and then down in the ground level by the ocean and the stuff. It's just amazing. It's amazing. There's so many people doing so much in there. There's schools from Istanbul that are in there, colleges. Doing stuff. It's really a creative space. The guys from Istanbul do pretty cool stuff. There's people in there from Japan and China and South Africa and Australia and Brazil. A lot of Brazilian people are in there. Yeah, it's a trippy place, man. It's a trippy place. We're all tripping out. There's all kinds of people in there and all kinds of scenes. There's perverted scenes. Yeah, anything you can think of is in the virtual world, man. Anything. And they have a marketplace. It's like Amazon. Anything in the world you want to buy, you go in the marketplace and somebody's selling it in the virtual world. You get a virtual production of whatever. You can buy cars and planes and houses and clothes and eyeballs and eyelashes and fingernails and shoes and you name it, you can buy it in the virtual world. And they have the thing called a marketplace. It's just unbelievable. It's like, it's as vast as Amazon. It's just scary, crazy. And it's pretty well developed. It's been around for like almost 20 years, I think. So it's pretty well developed, man. There's just a lot of shit in there and a lot of people doing a lot of stuff. And a lot of people on their own trips. Like, at one point there was 400 schools and institutions and they're doing stuff. In fact, Bloomingdale's, you could dress your avatar in clothes, and you could go to Bloomingdale's and get real clothes that matched your avatar in there. And they did a thing. Bloomingdale's they were in there, and yeah, it's just scary the stuff that goes on in there. Texas A&M University built their whole campus. And so we went there and we stole some of their buildings. We didn't take them, but we copied them and used them in our movie studio because we built a college campus. So we used some of the buildings from Texas A&M. Sorry, guys, we stole your buildings. And we have those. So we have this movie studio. And it's got the Eiffel Tower. It's got Wembley Stadium in England. It's got the Texas A&M, some of the buildings for the campus. We made our own college campus there to film in. It's got a theater, it's got a concert venue, it's got a Dutch street, it's got the Dutch canals. Which people are we've just been tripping for 15 years. We built the most elaborate stuff. And so the thought of destroying it all, we thought, we can't destroy this. It's so it's amazing. It's like our home in there. I would be lost. And these friends of mine says, oh, you can live with us. And we went and looked at their place. They have this most spectacular place in there. And I went over there and I sat for a couple of days. And after I sat there, I thought, nah, we got to stay where we're at. This is our home in the virtual world. We built this whole thing. Anyway, it's a trip. So naturally, when AI came along, I was going, whoa, this is the greatest. Everybody says, why do you like AI? And I thought, AI, man, the reason I like it, it's so much like our virtual world, except it's even better, even more, another step farther. And that's why we thought of maybe getting rid of our stuff, because, it's so cool, AI. But we can do both, plus we have our virtual world. We go in there and meet. We have a tribe of people. We have a creative tribe of people. We've been together 15 years. We meet in there every day, almost 15 years, for a short period of time, But that's pretty impressive, right? And the people are from all over the world. Only 2 of us are from the U.S. There's like 22 people in our tribe, and only 2 of us are from the U.S. Everybody else is from a lot of Dutch people from Belgium, somebody from the UK, a German person, an Italian person, a Swedish person. Anyway, it's, yeah. It's fun. It's fun. And it doesn't take up a lot of time. We spend like an hour a day in there, hour and a half a day. And it's really cool. I've really learned a lot. And we have a great thing. We copied some of our avatars with AI. This one in particular that we think is a movie star, or she thinks she's a movie star. I talked about her when I was talking about the stuff. You can see her in my movie. She's the big blonde girl that kind of poses all the time. Yeah, we created her in AI, man. She looks real. She looks like a real person. Can't believe it. I go, there she is. This avatar that we made, there she is, fucking looking real. It just blows me out. Like, we have these little 5-second clips, because everything in the virtual world is 5-second clips, because that's all you can do. You can do 5 seconds. So if you want to make something, you got to piece together all these 5-second clips to make something. So that's why when you see this girl, Kelly's stuff, you realize she's using 5-second clips, and she's lacing them all together in such an artistic way. Man, she's just phenomenal. So I hope you guys are watching her stuff, because it'll just make you feel good watching the stuff she does, man. That's a truth. It makes you feel good. It's a feel-good thing. How you doing, everybody? I hope you're all doing good. I hope you don't mind my stories. God, I can't believe I thought of that teacher when we used to blackmail his ass or extort him, whatever you call it. I didn't personally do it, but my friend was the one who did it. He was the one who got molested, so he's the one who did it. Back in those days, too, that would have been scandalous. Like today, if a teacher molested somebody, people are, but back then that wouldn't have been cool for him. So he had to cooperate with us because he would have gotten a lot of trouble back then. He would have never been able to teach again or something. So we had him by the cojones. It's funny. I remember his name. Some of you probably remember his name. Now, is that the story you were asking me about? Was that the story about the car? I was trying to think of band teacher in the car. What are you talking about? Oh, that story. Is that what you guys are talking about? I didn't know anybody knew about that except us. But I guess that people had to know about it. We were driving the guy's car around. That was a cool car too, man. A little Thunderbird. We were cruising down the cruise streets. It was funny. And it was just like American Graffiti back then, I swear to God. And that guy wrote that movie. He grew up in Modesto, that guy. What was his name? Anyway, famous guy, did Star Wars and all that stuff. But he grew up in Modesto, and so he knew that street and that street. And so when he made American Graffiti, that was exactly how that street was. And in Merced, they had a smaller version of that, which was a town near us. It was like 6 miles from us. Modesto was 35. But it was the coolest. It was really an era for people cruise, and it was just like American Graffiti. And we lived it. And we lived it with this coolest car. Remember, we had one of the coolest cars, and it belonged to this teacher. That's what he gets, I guess. Anyway, that's my stories. Wow. So anyway, Kelly, go look at her stuff, man. What's her name? I can't even think of it. Bosch, Boesch, man, Kelly Bosch. If you haven't gone there, I know I keep repeating every day. She's only got 14,000 subscribers, so she's not like the biggest thing in the world, but she's got millions of views because the people that are into her just are into her. And I'll tell you, if you look at her stuff, it'll make you smile, man. You'll go, this is amazing. You'll just look at her stuff and go, fuck, I can't believe my eyes, man. It's just like. And she's so diverse. Anyway, you're gonna like it. I'm telling you, you gotta go check it out. And I haven't heard much negative anymore. When I first started talking about AI, people were being real negative about it. But now everybody's quit being negative, and a lot of people have checked her out and they've liked it. So in the comments, you can see some people will go, "Thank you for turning me on to Kelly Bosch. She's just like the shit, man. She's the shit, man." How you doing out there, everybody? We're here in the virtual world. Oh no, this isn't the virtual world. This is the real world. I get confused. I don't know if I'm reality or virtual. I'm going back and forth. Come on, you guys. I hope you're smiling out there. I hope we're having a good time. I'm having a good time. I hope you're having a good time. Hope you're having a good time. Yeah. I feel so bullshit. Sometimes I think about myself, man, nobody's more bullshit than me, man. I am the most bullshit person in the world, and I love it, I just love it. Now, you can say, I've talked about this before, my kids, man. Sometimes it puts my kids off that I'm like this. I'm just like, yeah. And my kids are like men, they're serious, and sometimes they look at me and they think, God, Anyway, I'm not as serious as they are. I'm not as serious as anybody. I'm probably I'm the most bullshit person in the world, but I'm having fun, man, and I'm not hurting anybody. That's the thing, man. I'm not hurting nobody. And I don't hate anybody either, man. Imagine how it would be if you hated people. Man, people have done some heinous shit to me, but I don't hate them. I figure, oh well, that's what they had to do. I'm not going to let them bum my trip. That's it, man. You can't let anybody bum your trip. Life is just so glorious. There's so much good shit happening. Everywhere I look, I'm amazed by everything. Is so cool. Maybe that's why I love Venice, man. I love LA. I love LA. I love everything. Fuck. I don't know why I love everything. I was so messed up when I was younger. I was a total reptile. I can't believe it. You know what really changed my life was LSD. I have to admit, LSD changed my life, man. It really did. It changed my life. I didn't, I, after I took acid, I was more conscious. It raised my consciousness level. I'm afraid that's the truth. And I don't recommend it to anybody. And especially my granddaughters and stuff. Girls, don't mess with that stuff. It's like Russian roulette. You know, you can go off the deep end and not come back. And I've talked about my bad acid trips and how devastating they were. But it changed my life for the better. I was more conscious and more expanded my consciousness, you know. But I always had a stupid ass grin on my face. I was so happy to be out of Atwater and be on my way in life, you know. Just was really happy. I go, yeah, this is it. I'm living my life, man. And I'm still living my life. Here we are, almost 80, and I'm living my life, man. Yeah, we're living in the future. Think about that, everybody. We're living in the future. God, it's so cool. It's so cool. Anyway, I hope you guys are all having fun out there. I'm going to get out of here. I'm starting to repeat myself. But, man, your stories, man. That story about the band teacher, I forgot about that. I haven't thought about that in 50 years, man. Yeah. Yeah. That's some funny shit. Everything's funny. Okay. I guess it's the end of the bullshit podcast. Anyway, I hope you guys are all here tomorrow. I hope my perpetual cheery attitude is not driving you guys crazy. But obviously, there's a little group of us that are hanging here every day, and I really appreciate you. I do. I love all you guys. Yeah, it's cool that you're here. I would have stopped doing the podcast ages ago if I didn't read the comments, you know what I mean? But the comments, man, are inspiring, and the questions are inspiring. Sometimes I think you guys are just trying to think of questions to be nice, so I appreciate that, you know. But sometimes the questions really trigger stories. That's kind of cool. Yeah, it's so funny how you ask one little question, I go on a big long trip about something, but that's life, man. Anyway, I guess I'm out of here. This is my podcast. This is your world. This is my world. We're in it together. In a way, the podcast is sort of like the virtual world because we're like in our own little universe here doing our own little thing. Flag Brothers, man, that's so cool. Phil, hi, wherever you are out there, all you guys from Flag, I really like it. I remember Tycho Brahe too, and that guy, what was his name? His Folkestone Starkist Tuner or something. What was his name? Anyway, all these memories, man, it's pretty cool, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, I know the place down in Orange County was called the Golden Bear. Yeah, that's the place where I played with Woody and them. That's the gig you're talking about, the Golden Bear. I like the guy that ran that place. He was nice. I think he was a Greek guy. I don't know. He was a nice guy. He ran a tight ship there, and it was pretty cool. I used to go to rock across the street during the day to George's Surf Shop, which was right there in, was that Huntington Beach? Yeah. And I would go in there, and he knew Dick Dale, and Dick Dale, I guess, had some lions or something. I would go in there and talk to the guy there at George's Surf Shop. And they had a little thing in the back where they made salads and food and stuff, and I would go in and get this salad with this fake turkey meat, and I know that's not, oh yeah, you're going to tell us what you ate 50 years ago? Yeah, I guess so. But I used to like the Golden Bear. I used to like playing there. I used to like hanging out in the surf shop. And yeah, even though I wasn't really a surfer, I related to the culture, you know. And I was a musician. That's what I've always been. That's what I still am. I play every day. I'm going to get out of this podcast now. I'm going to play. If you guys are musicians, I hope you play today. If you're not a musician, just listen to some music. You can go in the virtual world if you want, and you'll have fun in there. Believe me, you'll have fun. You'll blow your mind, man. You'll go in there and you go, oh, man. Now, I'm not going to tell you where I am or what our names are in there because we like our privacy in there. And anytime you go in there, anytime you go in this virtual world, there's like 50 to 70,000 people in there, or 40,000 or whatever. A little less than there used to be because there's more video games. But it's so funny because you go in there and different times of the day, different people. Like you go in at certain times of the day, the people all in Asia are in there. You go in another time of the day, People in South Africa are in there. You go another time of the day, people from Brazil and the U.S. are in there. And you go another time of the day, all the European people are in there. I mean, there's a crossover. People go in different times, but they're generally the bulk of the, people go in there at night. I go in there during the day. So I really very rarely run into a lot of U.S. people because in the day when I go in there, all the people in Europe are 9 hours later. And so the Euros are all there at 9 hours later, and I go in during the day. I don't go in at night. I'm playing music at night and tripping out, so I don't do it. But anyway, people are in there different times of the day, people from all over the world, and you get to hear music. We always say music is the glue that keeps us in there, And yeah, the music is the glue of the virtual world, man. It's like music. And you go to these countries and you hear them playing music you would never hear in a million years. Never in your whole life would you hear the music they're playing. And they're playing this music in the clubs, in the virtual clubs, music from their country or whatever. And there you go, you get to hear it. And it's so trippy. Anyway, that's the glue that keeps everybody together in there, the music. So yeah, I'm just talking to you guys because I'm having fun. You can see I'm wasting time because I don't want to leave, but I got to leave. Okay, we're out of here. Thanks for watching the podcast. I hope you're having fun. I'm having fun. We're having fun. Yeah. Hope everything's going good for you. I guess I'll go. 3, 2, 1. See it all tomorrow. Bye. Poof is the word.